so much for having me. I'm thrilled to be here. I'm thrilled to be sharing the stage with three wonderful guests who have spoken to you about connectivity in different ways. I've spent the last 6 years trying to understand how human connections are better for business and better for all of our lives through online media and social networking. A little bit about me. I graduated from Harvard University, moved to New York City, and thought I was living the glamorous life of advertising and marketing in Manhattan. And then I got a call from my brother saying, "You know how to do marketing, and I need someone who will do marketing for free for my startup. And you're my sister, so get on a plane." And there I was in California. Never imagined I'd be in California, and the last 6 years has just been the most incredible journey of my life. I actually recently left Facebook a few weeks ago to start my own business, but I like to say that I have two businesses because I also have a 5-month-old son. And he's the pride and joy of my life right now. And so I like to say that I have two startups in my life. Thank you. Very, very proud mom. So I think understanding connection and the way humans fundamentally love to connect is so important to understanding why Facebook grew so quickly and was so successful. Let's take a look at photographs on Facebook for a moment. Arguably, Facebook doesn't offer the best photo service on the web. They don't allow you to edit your photos. There's no red eye connection. There's a lot of features that one would like to add to Facebook photos. But the key was in allowing you to tag your friends, making photos social. And because of that, Facebook photos became more popular than every other photo service on the web combined. Similarly, gaming. If you take a look at Zynga, Farmville, some of the most popular games on Facebook, again, arguably, they're not the most beautiful graphic gaming experiences, but they're social. They invite you to play with your friends, and because of that, again, more popular than almost all of the other online games combined. And finally, translation. When we looked to translate Facebook into 70+ languages, we thought about a few ways to do that and ultimately wound up opening up Facebook for people, experts in different countries to translate, and our site was translated into Spanish in 48 hours. The opportunity is pretty amazing. Good news travels faster and farther than ever before. There's hardly a decision that people make today that they don't look to their friends, their trusted connections to help them make. I know I won't even go to a restaurant or travel or do anything related to parenting advice without asking my friends. On the other hand, though, is the challenge, because negative information also travels faster and farther than ever before. Gone are the days when someone could have a subpar experience in your business and just kind of smooth it under the rug and forget about it. Now, everyone on Facebook and Twitter is a broadcaster, is a journalist, and will turn to their thousands of friends to tell them all about the experience that they had. I was actually recently at an event where a Hollywood movie executive came up to us and said, "Randi, you have to do something about this. Facebook has made it so that I cannot make money from releasing bad movies." And we sort of looked at him and said, "Well, why don't you just make good movies?" But I think that really gets to what's going on here. A movie can be released on a Thursday night at midnight, and by Friday it can be dead if people turn to social media saying it's bad. On the other hand, the sleeper hit, the movie that no one expected to be a success, can turn out to generate millions and millions of dollars just by wonderful word of mouth. I think in order to look at why businesses are so successful on social media, we have to understand this generation, because this is a generation that's living their lives in public. And they're also facing really interesting challenges that have never been faced before. For example, Thank goodness that I married my husband before I had to deal with issues like, when do you make your relationship Facebook official? It adds a whole nother dimension to a romantic relationship. Or, how do you make your friend feel special on your birthday when everyone else remembers their birthday too? Or, when I was expecting with my son, I actually had to write down a list of who would be angry with me if they found out through Facebook and not through a phone call. So there's all these interesting new dimensions to society that we're dealing with and new challenges of communication. So I want to look at these, and I want to look at 10 trends that I've been seeing over the past few months or the past year in social media and the role that plays in our lives in business and so on and so forth. A few questions to think through for those of you who manage social media for a company or for yourself. Really think through who runs social media for your brand. Is it one person? Is it a whole team? Is it someone right out of school? How often are you posting? What times of day? Do you have guidelines, creative guidelines that govern what you post? In many ways, this is how you or your brand is represented to millions of people. So these are things that you really want to think through very carefully as I go through the next few slides. The 10 trends and tips that I'm about to talk about, they may not be applicable to everyone in the room, but hopefully they will inspire you or at least help you come up with some creative ideas that you could take back. Trend number 1 is give people a reason to like. The era of the easy like is over. People, they used to go around and it used to be very easy to get people to like your brand. Now you kind of have to give people a little more excitement. So we're seeing more contests and promotions. We're seeing videos, really interesting ways to get people to be interested in your page. One of my favorite examples and one of the things that I miss dearly about working at Facebook every day is the free food. Facebook has delicious food, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, gourmet chefs. And the chefs decided that they were going to post a page where they were going to list every day the menu of what was going on. And they post it about 20 minutes before each meal. So you can imagine that right around lunchtime, everyone is at their desk hitting refresh, refresh, refresh until the menu comes up. And I started realizing there were about 2,000 employees at Facebook when I left, and there are about 12,000 people who like this page. So there are 10,000 people who have nothing to do with Facebook and nothing to do with the cafeteria who just wanted to see what we were eating every single day. Now, to me, I thought, wow, I want to aspire to create a page that is that engaging that people that have nothing to do with it still want to become connected to it. Trend number 2, we're seeing really brands creating what the loyalty programs of the future look like. We've seen forever airlines, hotels having frequent flyer loyalty programs. But now we're starting to see a new kind of loyalty program where brands acknowledge their fans. So Oreo, for example, posts as their profile photo their global fan of the week. Likewise, European company H&M posts a photo of a Facebook fan who has great style and feature them to everyone for their millions of fans. A site that's very popular in the United States is Gilt Group. They allow you to log on at 9 a.m. every morning Eastern Time, and there's a designer that's marked 50% off. Everyone scrambles to buy as much as they can. And they decided to give their Facebook fans a 1-hour preview of the sales, so you don't have to scramble. But you only get this if you're a Facebook fan. So again, a new type of loyalty program giving to people. Another trend we're seeing really is businesses showing a human side. More than ever before, we're seeing lots of businesses blogging. Not only that, they're allowing junior-level employees to blog and show what a behind-the-scenes looks like. And they're also inviting fans to have Q&As to learn a little about the business. It's a great way to invite people in and show them kind of what's behind the fold a little. The fourth trend we're seeing is really towards detailed insights and ROI. It's not enough to just throw a Facebook page up there and claim success. You really want to know who's looking at this page. What are we getting out of it? Who are our customers? And there's starting to be more and more levels of insights available to you. So if you're running a Facebook page right now, you can actually see exactly who is looking at your page. What their age, what country they're living in, what language. I was working with a movie star, actually, who realized that 25% of his fans were based in Buenos Aires. He was updating only in English, and after seeing that, he started updating every post that he made in English, he also made in Spanish. He also started hosting press junkets for his movies and premieres for his movies in Argentina. And because of that, his fan count doubled in only a few weeks. So there's some pretty amazing stats that you can see. I actually noticed, I was looking at the Real Madrid page earlier today. They do a great job with polls. There's 21 million fans on that page, and they're always asking everyone what they thought of the games, of the plays, of the players. Very engaging and a great way for them to get very real-time insights. A fifth trend I'm seeing is in connecting to very relevant, timely content. Brands are kind of piggybacking on these worldwide events that are getting everyone's attention. So, for example, the royal wedding, we saw tons and tons of brands on Facebook linking to it and trying to leverage the royal wedding in order to get a little more attention. The Visit Great Britain site actually was posting great content about how to avoid the royal wedding crowds and where to go, and they got 1.3 million viewers to their Facebook page just by relating their content. But sometimes timely and relevant content can be a crisis situation. So we remember a year and a half ago when volcanic ash was covering much of Europe and flights were grounded and people were panicking. And a lot of the airlines, what they did, unfortunately, was they turned radio silent on social media. People couldn't figure out where their loved ones were. They couldn't get in touch. They didn't know what was happening with flights. But KLM actually did a wonderful job using Facebook in order to update people. They had flight status. They could let you connect to a loved one. And people were so appreciative logging on there that that was a great opportunity for KLM to shine even in a crisis situation. The interesting thing about all of this is that you really want to build your community before a crisis hits. A lot of brands, a lot of people say, we don't need to put proactive effort into our social media presence right now. We don't really need the community, but you want to build your community before you need it. So, for example, recently in the past few weeks, Bank of America announced in the U.S. that just for owning a debit card, they were going to charge you $5 every single month just for having it in your wallet. People went up in arms, and Bank of America, again, instead of using their social media community to explain why they had made this decision, turned silent on everyone. Now, this would have been a great opportunity for them to actually engage and connect, and it would have been a wonderful opportunity had they spent the time building and investing in their community before that happened. Another major trend we're seeing is in crowdsourcing, in actually connecting with your audience and with the consumers of your product in order to make a decision. If you're not comfortable crowdsourcing or opening up an entire product to help your fans collaborate, a great way to start is with philanthropy. Very feel good. People love to participate. Target in the United States knew that they were going to be donating $5 million to philanthropy over the year. And instead of just announcing that they were donating it, they decided to open it up to all of their Facebook fans to help them allocate that money. It was actually very brilliant because instead of Target having to go out and advertise, They had all of their Facebook fans running around advertising for them to try to get people to vote for their nonprofit. It was a great campaign, and they did extremely well on Facebook because of it. Similarly, Vitamin Water actually decided to crowdsource and collaborate on an entire new flavor of water. They reached out to all of their fans on Facebook and said, what flavor do you want? What should we name it? What should the packaging look like on the bottle? And they came up with this very, very caffeinated black cherry lime flavor. And actually, it was not so great. We had refrigerators of it at Facebook, and maybe next time there'll be a better flavor from the crowd. But I thought it was a very cool integration they did, working with all of their fans and their community to actually come up with a product from scratch. However, crowdsourcing needs guidelines. The community needs boundaries. Otherwise, you run some risks. There was an SUV company that said, help us plan our 30-second commercial on TV. And they thought they were going to get some amazing things. Instead, they got thousands of Greenpeace activists who created commercials about how they were destroying the environment. That is not the kind of crowdsourcing that you want on social media. So really great lesson to learn was actually providing some boundaries and some guidance for people when you're allowing them to help you collaborate. Seventh trend we're seeing is in new e-commerce activities. We're actually seeing people for the first time opening shops within social media. 1-800-Flowers actually allows you to send flowers to anyone online directly through Facebook. And likewise, Delta actually has a ticketing window right within their Facebook page. They were seeing that people were asking their friends for travel advice and then running off to other sites, and they wanted to capture that buying and have that happen right within Facebook. Recently, there was just an announcement that in addition to the like button, there's actually going to be some other buttons too. They're announcing the want button, own. So for the first time, you can actually take actions on sites. You can say, I want this product, or I already have this product, and publish that back to Facebook, which opens up so many more opportunities for e-commerce and for telling your friends about the products that you want to purchase. And there's also interesting examples for real-world tie-ins to commerce. I don't know how many people in this room play Farmville, but a lot of people out there are quite addicted to it. They actually had all of these tie-ins where if you went to different stores and bought Farmville products, you could get discounts or virtual tractors and virtual merchandise. So again, I think we're really on the tip of what we're seeing of e-commerce and credits and virtual currency, but I think that's going to play out in a huge way over the next few years. Another trend we're seeing is in customer support, in actually using social media as a really effective way to connect with your customers. I think Twitter is especially great for this because it enables you to actually search when people are saying something about your brand. Are they saying something positive? Are they saying something negative? And it allows you in real time to interact with them. Here is a grocery store that actually published the hours that their customer service reps are available on Twitter to answer calls. Now, of course, there's squeaky wheels on the bus. Everyone loves to go and complain. But I think it's really, we have an opportunity to reward people saying good things about your brand also. Trend number 9 is to interact in real time. Seeing some really exciting things here. Here's Burberry. During Fashion Week, they were actually posting the fashions to Twitter and Facebook as the models walked across the stage so that millions of people around the world could see the fashions in real time. Maybe a bit too much info. Here's a Canadian woman broadcasting, live streaming her natural birth online. A bit much, but again, you get the point of the trend. Here's the Ritz-Carlton in Toronto, who's actually live streaming the grand opening of their hotel. What used to be a private press junket can now happen with millions of people around the world. And the final trend we're seeing is in mobile in a huge way, very disruptive, seeing some incredible things in this space. QR codes where you can actually get discounts on products or like them on Facebook directly from a store. Starbucks where you can actually go in with your mobile phone and purchase a coffee without ever taking out your wallet. Or banks that allow you to just take a photograph of a check and have it deposited directly into your account without ever visiting a bank. So there's some pretty incredible things that are happening out there. And I think that we can all take these back to where we work, back to our daily lives, and think about how connecting with other people and how bringing a culture of innovation can really help us in all of our day-to-day lives. So thank you very much.